All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. It's Brother Abadia. Coming, I'm coming to you in the spirit and power of Yahawah, by Hashem YAHAWASHI, by Hashem HaKadosh, Koho Loyan, like Yahawah, by Hashem YAHAWASHI, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, talking this truth through the spirit. Singing honors to the elect. Peace and blessings be to all the sincere men, women, and children. They do consist of the 1/3, and also to the confusion of faces in the 4 corners of the earth. Shalom. This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Shalom, shalom, Allah. Yes, our salvation is nearer than we believe, because this word has to be preached to the 4 corners of the earth. And this word has been preached to the 4 corners of the earth. And then with this whole situation that's happening right now with Ye and Kyrie, see, the small hats thought that they could use their pride to try to diminish that man's dignity and to try to make him grovel back to get his job. But really what it did, it opened up Pandora's box. They made a lot of our people wake up. You know, it's been put out on a mass scale, so to say, because it's been public. But what they've really done, they've really opened the eyes to a lot of our people. And what that is, that's a sure token of their end, a sure token of what's to come for us. It's a sure token of what's to come for us, which is the kingdom and salvation. But remember, the Lord deals with a balance. So if we're gonna get salvation, that brings condemnation to them. This is St. Matthew chapter 24, verse. Pardon me, wrong one. 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure until the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So as of right now, this is kind of like adding more fuel to the fire that the elders of Great Millstone, like-minded men, have already possessed and had. Okay, so for us to say that we're God's chosen people, then who are the people that's claiming that they are God's chosen people? Like Elder Malcolm has said, the truth doesn't need to be backed by a law. There's an international law saying that you can't say that we're not these people. But now all of a sudden, because our people are waking up, it's going to show you that those dry bones are living again, and we're standing boldly in the face of them that have oppressed us, that afflicted us. Going back to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, the 1st verse. And also, this is a beautiful precept too, because they have this in mind, thinking that they're not going to get punished for what they're done, for what they have done. The brother Kharatazar dropped Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's why our arising, our awakening, is pretty much the demise of Esau Edom's kingdom. And that's beautiful, because that's actually a precept that I had wanted to bring out too, but since you brought it out, I'm gonna read it. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. Well, actually, since you brought that out, let me go right to it then, because it's a precept before that I want to read. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? All right, so how do we know that we're living in the last days? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Now the first that was born of Jacob and Esau was Esau. All right, so when shall be the end of Esau and the beginning of Jacob? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that right there is a cut to vocab Malone. Because if Esau Edom is no more living on the earth, then how do we know that we're living in the last days right now? Because the things that are written in the scriptures about what will happen in the last days are happening right now as we speak. And the Lord said the earth will give it to the hands of the wicked. Malachi, the first chapter, proves that Esau is the border of wickedness. What happened when the Tychus, the Epiphanius, the fourth started to rule over the known world? It said that wickedness multiplied exceedingly throughout the earth. All right, when they were Hellenizing the whole world. What happened when Esau did the same thing with democracy? See what happened throughout the whole world, right? And then you can also go into Herod the Edomite. All right? Shalom, shalom. YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. You can also look at Herod the Edomite. In the Herodian dynasty, you would consider the Romans during that time when the Messiah YAHAWASHI was on the scene to be so-called white people or Caucasians who go back to the biblical Edomites, because Herod was an Edomite. Okay? So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. And see, that's striking fear to them. And that was the beautiful precept you had brought out earlier, brother, that Sirach 10 and 8. Right. Let me read it again. Sirach 10 and 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Yep, and it goes back to YAHAWASHI being the one that's going to be worthy of ruling over, right? It says that it's going to be given to one that's it's Shalom, Shalom, right? So let me go back to Romans, which I open up with through the Spirit. So glad y'all could join me. This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Because right now, this is really making them upset. The small hats, because as we speak against them, that's ushering in our kingdom. Going back to when Benjamin would say, we chatting down Babylon, we chatting down Babylon. So now that we're breaking up all those lies and we smashing the pieces with the word, they're striking fear in them. Remember, they're going to come out with great wrath, knowing that they have a short time. Listen to that language and listen to that delivery to Kyrie. In front of the whole world, they was like, we want you to donate $500,000. We want you to publicly apologize. They want you to sit down with one of our lead rabbis. They want to educate you. In other words, they tried to butt break him in front of the world. And Kyrie was like, no, I ain't doing that. And so now with that being said, that's going to show you that they're losing their power, man. How is the hammer on the whole earth being broken asunder? So this is a token. This is a prime example of us waking up and coming back to our power by this word being put out on a mass scale. Now, really, what the Lord is doing, the Lord using Kyrie and Ye as a means to say, okay, now you can't say that you don't know any better. Because even your renowned stars and celebrities, they believe. Remember Kendrick Lamar, Kodak Black, Nick Cannon, Amari Stoudemire? You know? I mean, they know who we are. Farrakhan, he using this as an opportunity to try and to feed off of it. But I have a news article which I'm gonna put up in the post where Farrakhan said that we are the children of Israel. But listen, you're a double-minded man because you'll read the Bible, but then you'll praise Allah, right? So it's out there. So let's go to the root. So this strikes fear in them. I'm gonna read y'all precepts before I go to the root, though. Y'all drop. Hear me. 2 Corinthians 13:8. But we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. And that's what they thought they were doing. They thought that they were gonna sabotage Kyrie's name They thought that he was going to retract what his statement, but he said, "How can I be anti if I know who I am?" That strikes fear in them. Like, you bucking up? Oh, you trying to be? So you trying to be strong in front of your people? That's why they gave him a list of things to do, just so that they can get his job back. That's wicked, man. Jeremiah drop Proverbs 12 and 18. There is that speaketh like the piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health. The lip of truth shall be beautiful. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Absolutely. Hey, that's a beautiful precept. A lying tongue is but for the moment. That reminded me of something in the book of Job. Right, because they've been telling lies for the longest. The Lord said he was going to pick us up and he was going to put us in our land. The Lord didn't say anything about some Balfour declaration. The Lord didn't say he was going to make a state of Israel. No, the Lord said he was going to put us back in our land. All right? This is the book of Job. And see, knowing that they have but a short time, they're trying to come down with great wrath now. The book of Job, chapter 20. What was it, 20? Forgive me. Bear with me for a moment. Yeah, Job chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old? Since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Right. And do you want to know why it's hypocritical? Because they'll say, you can't say that we're not these people. Okay. But then what's the problem with us saying that we are these people? That's hypocritical. You can claim who you want to be, but we can't claim who we want to be if you know who we are. So the triumphing of the wicked is but for a small moment. This small lie that you've lived out for so long is starting to come to an end. And it's a beautiful, and this precept reminded me of it. That Proverbs 12 and 18. Oh, this okay. It says, there is that speaketh like the piercing of a sword. They remind me of this that like their tongue is like the poison of a serpent. But the tongue of the wise is health. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Exactly, beautiful. Micah 2 and 2. And they covet fields from Fasad Lawaya. And they covet fields and take them by violence and houses, right? And take them away, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And that's synonymous with Jeremiah 17 and 4. When the Lord told Jeremiah, he said, thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage. How did we discontinue from our heritage? By them coveting the fields, taking the Native Americans' land and the Spanish-speaking tribes' land. Hell, even our entire Holy Land over in Israel. All right? You oppressed us and you also took our heritage. You did all of that to us. And now that we telling you that our power said that he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Now y'all want to get your panties up in a bunch, and now you want to say your hate speech. So you mean to tell me that the Lord loved what you've done, and the Lord said, you know what, I'm going to forgive you, I'm going to turn the eye? No. What is it? Exodus 15 and 3. The Lord is a man of war. Yahawah is his name. And right now we're at a spiritual warfare with Esau Edom. We're at a spiritual war because that same hatred that Esau had for our forefather Jacob thousands of years ago, that same hatred is evident today, to the point, hell, y'all want to be us, right? You notice that they'll never say that they're, you never know that they'll never say that they're an Israelite, or that what they'll say is that they're Israeli, which means that they inhabit the land. So to say you're an Israelite is to say that you actually genetically stem from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They can't say that. Because they stem from Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. That's the difference. Yeah? What you got, Op? So right to that drop 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahawah to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, right? I even put up a post to where in Suriname you had actual curly hair, small hats that literally was a part of the slave trade. If I'm not mistaken, I think they said at least 60% of the owners of the slaves were actually the small hats. I mean, that's evidence out there. There's documentation of that. And somebody on the school campus, they printed out a whole bunch of flyers and they were posting it all over the school, and they were saying that was anti-simping. I gotta get a certain word. It was anti-simping. All right. Oh, it's hurtful. Oh, this is gonna cause so many people, to get hurt. And that reminds me of in Chicago, where somebody got on a bus and they said they were saying racial slurs, and they were saying something to the extent of anti-Semitic, so to say, right? Anti-Semitic. But come to find out, it was actually an Edomite dude. All right. Come to find out, it wasn't even a Drake. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to put a negative stigma on us because this word is coming out. The truth is coming out. See, our kingdom is being ushered in while they're being ushered out. And that strikes fear into them. Let's get to it. This is Philippians chapter 1. And then I'm going to jump back to Baruch. I had something in Baruch, but Philippians came to mind. Philippians 1 and 14. And many of the brethren in the Lord, waxing confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear. Because at this moment in time right now, this is not a time for us to be shaking in our boots, not a time for us to be weary. We have to stand strong and firm, because for so long, going back to the elders, forgive me. Dang, if somebody can get that for me in second Ezra, this chapter, truth that been so long without fruit. But so long the elders were out here preaching this word by the foolishness of preaching to save those who believe. So it looked the foolish to, you know what? Think about this, y'all. People laugh at us. They scorn at us. They think we fools, right? But all it took was somebody who made millions of dollars to agree with it, and now the whole world wants to figure out who the Jews are. Now Jake want to stand behind them. But Jake wasn't standing behind the elders of Great Millstone. Jake wasn't standing around like-minded men, because we're telling you the judgment is to come. That's the difference, man. And see, yeah, we upset with what these Edom has done to us and what they're still doing, but that's what patience is, to suffer. And that beautiful precept, beautiful. Romans 12 and 19, from the brother Charatazar. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Right, and also, yeah, if it be possible, as much as life in you, live peaceably with all men. Exactly. The water for this precept, this is what I wanted to. Second Ezra 6:28. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. Right. And right now, at this moment, it's been declared who the men of the Lord are. The men who've been out here on the highways and byways prior to this. And it's going to show you who the children of Israel are. Because what it said, let me get that really quick. In a land where it said that you are not my people, there it shall be said that you are the children of God. Let's get that. This is Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Because who has been calling themselves the Lord's people? The small hats and the J's. Now that we're saying it, they're getting mad and upset. Well, damn. I mean, it's like, yo, you could be the best ball player on the court. You ain't got to tell everybody. You just go out there and let your game show. It's kind of like Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, when he was in his prime, he didn't speak much, but when Derrick Rose got on the court, man, it spoke volumes. So for you to get upset by we're saying, oh, you know what, we the people of God, won't you just address the issue and prove that you are? Because we've been called, because you know we fit the curses, bywords and proverbs, man. Go on YouTube, not YouTube. Well, you can go on Google and type in what it says, a yoke of iron. Just type in yoke of iron. Yoke of iron around the neck. Type in yoke of iron. It's gonna show you pictures of us with yokes of iron around our necks. When the Lord said we shall be sold into our enemies, it showed auction blocks. A Negro and two baby Negroes and two wenches and a strong buck. They had that for us, right? Remember that. They want to put slavery back on the ballot. Think about this, y'all. Why would you, if you was the people that was in slavery, why would you want to vote or cast a ballot for slavery? It's because they know they had us in slavery. So who was our enemy then? The Lord said, you shall be sold unto your enemy for bondmen and bondwomen. And no man shall buy thee. If we were sold and no man shall buy thee, that's not confusion. The word buy means saved. So who needs to be saved? Who is salvation for? For us. We've been called Argentinian, Chilean, Puerto Rican, Venezuelan, Trinidadian, Mexican, Panamanian, Jamaican, Cuban, all right? Haitian, African American, Negro. We would call everything under the sun, but tribe of Judah, tribe of Reuben, tribe of Simeon, tribe of Levi, tribe of Gad, tribe of Naphtali. We haven't been called any of those respective names. Why? Because we had to fall under those curses of there being the falling away, of us losing our heritage. But now we're coming back, and as we preach this word, you gotta preach it strong and firm. So I was listening to the elders today, and they was talking about how the woman that had the sons in the book of Second Maccabees, I think the 7th chapter, how she had to sit there witness all her sons be tortured and die, all because they didn't bow down to I don't know who it was at the time, the ruler that was ruling during that time. So it's a lot more that's going on. Okay, now that's the video I'm gonna do. Okay, now you know you're Israelite. What's next? What's next? Now that you know you're Israelite, it's much more than just claiming it. Think about, okay, if you know you're Israelite, think about all the atrocities we've been through and still going through. The Lord put that upon us because we were sinning. Well, hell, and that's what happened. That's because we were sinning. Then let me repent. But Jay think it's a cakewalk into the kingdom of heaven. That's why they go to church, because church tell them nothing but lies, right? So let's go to Baruch. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So there's been nothing but death and destruction since we left our power. That's why they want to keep us from knowing who we are. In the book of Malachi, the 1st chapter, what does it say? It said, my name is dreadful among the heathen. That's why the small has to this day, they don't say Yahawah or YAHAWASHI. What they say? They say Hashem. Hashem just means the name. There's power in that. All right? That's why they don't want us to know who we are. That's why they will tell you, you know what? They said it. Kyrie said it too. If you want to hide something from I'm going to say how Jay said in the hood. If you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book. That's why the Lord said, blessed is he that readeth and keepeth these words, these sayings. You got to read to believe as well. All right? That's why when I first came into the truth, everything the elders said, I wrote down. And then I memorized it. Because pretty much, it's like, you got to research it yourself. The elders always said, don't believe me, look it up. And if you go and research something, you'll appreciate it more because of the time and effort you put into it, man. It's a difference. So knowing that this is life, this Bible, when we left it, what happened? We got done. But now that we came back to our power, what happened? Them dry bones are living again, right? And that strikes fear into them, all right? Because we standing before those who oppressed us and counting our labor as nothing. That's striking fear into them, man. Same thing with think about Pharaoh in ancient Egypt. It said we need to ask the Hebrews, to pretty much be on our side. At least they go and join their enemies, right? And so it's so because they was afraid of us, what they did, they afflicted us. And the more and more they afflicted us, the more and more we multiplied. Hey, like on that movie Baby Kids, we don't die, we multiply. Exactly. So the more you afflict us, the more we have sex and multiply. That's another example of us being the children of Israel. Because the Lord said we shall be numbered as the stars of heaven and as the sands of the sea. So you can't even put a census on those. Because not all Israel will look like John Shaft or Michael Jordan. So I just dropped 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to shoot ourselves approved unto Yahawah, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. Rightly, forgive me, dividing the word of truth. Hey, come. Hey, we like-minded, Rightly dividing the word of truth. So, Elder Pastor Hart said it. Ronald Dalton, he just know he an Israelite. He's not a prophet. My thing is, if you know we're Israelite, then understand the curses. So the Lord always sent forth judges and prophets before he brought forth his judgment. What are you doing to bring the people back to YAHAWASHI? That's the difference. Yeah, I know niggas in the world that know the Israelites, they still out there selling dope. They still smoke weed. Still be trying to smash all kind of women. They'll tell me, oh yeah, man, I believe in the children of God. We rolling up a spliff. You know what I'm saying? Toting something, toting that tootie on them. And that's the same thing with a lot of Jakes too. They know the Israelite. They want to bring that Christian mentality with it. Still praising Jeebus. Because they got a bag, man. They got a bag. You got to understand. The spirit of the prophets said it to the prophets. So the prophets are here again today. Well, hell, don't that mean that the wicked scribes and Pharisees are? The unbelievers? Esau? Right? The prophets. We all are here again today. Baruch chapter 4, verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take heed of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. So walking into the light is what? Going back to the law. What's that? Proverbs 6:23. It said the law is a lamp unto my path, right? Because ever since we left the law, what happened? Our lives have been filled with nothing but darkness. Though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we shall fear no evil. America is that valley of death. All right? A valley is in very low land. The moors are very low. All right? Even the price of a woman is very low because you don't need to have commitment anymore now. And death is always hanging above us because we're under the guise of Esau Edom. The water we drink, the food we eat, hell, even the things that our children absorb, even the things our children absorb, they try and replicate that in their everyday lives. This is not our rest. What it says, it will destroy you with a soil pollution. You can't be righteous here, man. The brother Yawami Gabar Titus 1:9. Holding fat, beautiful. Holding fast the faithful word, as he have been taught, that he may be able, by sound doctrine, which is whole, complete doctrine, all right, both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. Exactly. So you must know the whole truth in order for you to be able to do that. Forgive me. Baruch chapter 4, verse 3. Give not thine honor to another, know the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. Aha. Listen, O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us. That's what they don't want. Us to know who we are. So it's pleasing to the Lord being made known unto us. Verse 5. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Okay, listen to this. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved God to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies. So the Lord said, listen here, I sent you away to the worst of the worst, not to destroy you completely. No, 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 no. But because you moved me to destruction. It's kind of like how, a man having, a man and his wife arguing. I'm gonna leave the house real quick. I ain't got time for this. I'm gonna leave the house. Where you going? Don't worry about it. Going up your phone, you put it on silent, then you come back. That's how the Lord did it. I speak as a man, though. The Lord did it with pestilence and famine and then us being Gentiles, understand? And then our women hating their own children that they give birth to, the men neglecting their family, being an infidel, women being masculine, surpassing the men, our men being feminine, all of that, man. All of that befell us because of us going into the other gods. Verse 7, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to God. You have forgotten the everlasting God that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nourished you. The Lord said we were sold to our enemies. Where in the history where it said anything about them being sold? They were just saying your boy Schickelgruber, Adolf, he was killing them off. I can't recall them being sold. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it didn't happen. No, that happened. I'm gonna leave it at that. But where were they sold? Right? And scattered into the four winds of the earth, right? When? Jumping down though. In Luke chapter 4, verse 12. Let no man rejoice over me, a widow, and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children am left desolate, because they departed from the law of God. And that's another thing too. You're supposed to be God's people. What does the Talmud has to do with the Bible? What does it have to do with it? I don't understand. Verse 13. They knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in his righteousness. Let them that dwell about Zion come, and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting have brought upon them. Right. Listen to this. We have brought a nation upon them from far. All this is kind of stemming from that precept that you have brought out, Romeo. What was it? Was it the Romeo Gabon? Or was it Karatza? One of y'all had brought out Sirach 10 and 8. All right. All this is going back to that. Verse 15. For he had brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old men or pity children. And how do we know that? Because you had Esau have his son like 8 years old, calling a 78-year-old Judahite man a boy. Like, that was disrespectful. They didn't regard. They would still have our grandmothers, and they would have our elderly aunts out in the cotton field picking cotton and things like that, man. That's what they did. And for the children, going back to the Native American woman, they would cut the unborn child out of Native American woman's stomach. They would cast the child to the ground and they would stuff in the child's head, right? Or also, they even had flyers where they would take out infant children, they would use them as gator bait. So the first gator shoes and gator suitcases, they used our children as bait, right? So that's a prime example of where it says they reverence who neither reverence old man nor pity child. So they didn't care about our children either, man. Right? Verse 16. These have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, and left her that was alone, desolate without daughters. Right? But what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. So it's like, all right, if you know the Lord brought these plagues upon us, he's gonna be the one to get us up out of it. So when they say the Lord, it said, have you accepted the Lord as your Lord and Savior? You can't accept him. He has to accept you. You get what I'm saying? Many are called, but few are chosen. So when it says that the Lord brought these plagues upon us, it's gonna be the one to take them up off us. So when Jake try to make it in this world, you come to realize you won't be able to, because this is not your rest. It's like getting locked up in prison, right? You get locked up in prison, but you're trying to make that your home. And then sooner or later you're gonna have to, you're gonna get your time, and then you're gonna get released. But you know what Jake is? Jake become institutionalized. And when Jake become institutionalized, all Jake knows is to go back to jail. Go back to jail. Or when they get out, go back into the game. Go back into the game. So after 400 years, think about this, y'all. Being in Egypt, what happened when Moses tried to bring them out? Oh, we better off going back into Egypt. We better off going back into Pharaoh, right? Because they trust in oppression. They developed Stockholm syndrome. And the young brother and I think his sister that walked by, they had on church attire. As soon as I was talking about our church, and they used this Gator bait, they're still like 20, 30 feet off, and they kept looking, but they ain't say nothing. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't get it. People there save up money, save up all their PTO time. They'll drive halfway across the country to go to a fucking concert or to go to Coachella. But hell, the men of the Lord right here telling you that we God's people. You know what's going on. You don't want to stop. You don't want to stop and ask questions, man. That's why, hey, man, the Lord said pray now for these people, man. And they look young too. And she looked young. She was in her prime, petite, pretty. But they don't want to stop. They go to church. What it is, a lot of people, man, they're on beautiful piece of the water. A lot of people, man, they know that they've been lied to, and they have too much pride to admit it. Yeah, you're supposed to be angry, but sin not. Okay? Say John 15:16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain. That whatsoever you shall ask of my Father in my name, he may give it you. Exactly. Because it was the Father who put us here because of our trespasses. Let's get back to it. See, and that's what put in the fear on them. Think about it. The Lord that put these plagues on us gonna take it off of us. So in order for the Lord to take the plagues off of us, YAHAWASHI gonna come back and do what? Take the crowns of all the kings. Now that doesn't mean YAHAWASHI gonna be on his chariot like Santa Claus with a bag full of crowns. No, it means that the Lord's gonna take the power from all the heathens that's ruling in the four corners of the earth. That's what the Lord means. Shalom Akwafte, YAHAWASHI Shai Bashim Kakatash Rakathum. So in order for the Lord to take the plagues off, they mean that these heathen nations, the Lord gonna take that power from them. And that's what's striking fear into them. All right? Because they know the only reason why they're ruling is because of us being disobedient. Baruch chapter 4, jumping down, verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from God. So once again, we're still suffering. So if you are God's people, why is Benjamin and Yahoo them talking about going nuclear with Iran? Huh? Why is that? Why is it that there's still nations fighting throughout the four corners of the earth? Why aren't all the nations, like Isaiah the 2nd chapter say, why aren't all the nations flocking to Israel to learn the ways of Yahweh? Right? How come our young boys and our young girls are not playing with the asp of an otter or poisonous snake, or the lion laying down with the gazelle? All right, where's the street paved with gold? They're still vomit and urine out here, man, all over these streets. It's still concrete. Where's the 12 pillars for the 12 tribes of Israel? Right? Where are the 24 elders spoken about in the book of Revelations? Right? Where's your house? Where's King David? Yeah? Where's your mitre? Where's your diadem? Where's your crowns? Eh? Where are the angels? How come those clouds haven't cracked yet? We see in this marvelous world. When have the elect been gathered from the four winds of the earth? If you are the Lord's people, then, yeah? No, we are, and we still patiently suffering. Let's get back. Ooh, it's like that. Let me jump up one verse. I messed up. Let me jump up one verse. Baruch chapter 4, verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our God, Allah, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. co lawyer like YAHAWASHI now shy. That's why I said earlier, Ronald Jones, he just know he an Israelite. He not a prophet. Because the Lord said he gonna turn Babylon into a lake of fire, referring back to Revelation, I think the 19th chapter. But you telling us we gotta flee to Africa. The Lord just said the one who put these plagues on you is gonna be the one to take them off of you. So you're trying to flee the Lord's judgment. And the Lord not dealing with you because we're gonna be saved, all right, by the chariots of God, which the world ignorantly call UFOs, man. But you're telling them, oh, we're not gonna be saved by UFOs. That's crazy. Because you're not a visionary. You're not a visionary, man. You're not a visionary. Yeah. So the Son of Man can walk on water. You can believe that. The Son of Man can bring the dead back to life. Right? The Son of Man can put Malchus' ear back on his head. Are you telling us that we can't be saved, beamed up? You mean to tell us that God? So you telling me that God not sure? God got limits. God can't just beam us up out the earth, man. Huh? That's crazy. That's crazy. But niggas will watch X-Men all day and believe that. Right? Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. From Saratazar. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. Exactly. And shall be amazed at the straightness of a salvation so far beyond all that they look for. You know what they remind me of? What's that precept? You got to get it, though. Jeremiah 10:1, where it says, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven as the heathen is dismayed. You mean to tell me Esau Edom talking about having a space force for no reason, but Ronald, what's his name? Ronald Jones, Ronald Dalton, sorry. Ronald Dalton knows better to say that, oh, we're not going to be saved by what the world ignorantly call UFOs. So you mean to tell me that they don't see nothing out there? Huh? The Lord dealing with you on a small level by really dealing with Kyrie. Because, see, you produced that in what, 2018, right? And it started catching traction. It was like #1 on Amazon now. It started catching traction because Kyrie shared the link. Now, how many people been following you since then? How much of the work have you been doing? Like Elder Pastor Hart said, the last time you had uploaded the video was like what, 2 weeks ago? So what are you? And what are you in this ministry, right? Jumping back though, Baruch, and that's your power precept. Because that goes back to our everlasting glory, our everlasting salvation. Your power, that's your power. The water, Jeremiah 10:2. Thus said Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. And that's heavy, because in Matthew the 18th chapter, it said, if you have a problem with your brother, you go to him. If he don't want to listen to you, you bring a witness. If he don't want to listen to God, bring him before the congregation. If he don't want to listen to nobody, cast him out as a publican and a heathen. So you really a heathen, man. Because they remind me of Jake. And there was a video with Jake and some officers, and then there was a chariot in the sky, and Jake told the officer, you need to be shooting at that. I'm like, nigga, that's your salvation, But they go back to when the Lord said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. Right. Jake destroyed for a lack of knowledge because they don't know. They really don't know, man. Baruch chapter 4, verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from God. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. Because what you've done to us, you make it seem as if you're not gonna go. You make it seem as if you're gonna go unpunished. No, you're not. No, you're gonna be punished, and that's what really strikes fit in you. Okay. Shalom, Shikar Yasha'Allah. YAHAWASHI Mawashai, Ashim Hakadash, Rakatham. See, that right there really strikes fit in you, man. Because you really believe that you're not going to drink from that cup. Let's get it. This is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. That's what's happening right now. And that's why they're saying, oh my God, you're hurting us. Well, what it is hurting your lives. That's what it's doing because the truth is coming out, right? The Lord is making you bear. The son, what is it called? What is it? The son of perdition? Yeah, the son of perdition. You being prevailed. Prevail. I'm sorry, damn. You being revealed. Because the word perdition means destruction. You are the son of destruction. All you do is bring destruction to the earth. That's why the scripture says the days have been shortened for the elect's sake, except no flesh be saved. If you keep going at this rate, hell, there ain't gonna be enough people on earth. Hey, don't y'all remember the Georgia Guidestones? Yeah? Don't y'all remember the Georgia Guidestones? Shalom. Shalom, Makwaka. YAHAWASHI, don't y'all remember the Georgia Guidestones, right? Where they had like their 10 commandments on how they was gonna rule the world, all right? And then on there, it said to be in harmony with nature, right? By reducing the world population to 500 million people. But then, what's the quickest way to reduce the world population to 500 million people? I don't know, maybe a pandemic, right? Yeah. Don't you remember on TED Talk with Bill Snake the Gates? He was talking about reducing the world population by 14%. He said using the vaccine as well. Lo and behold, how the hell the man that created Microsoft all of a sudden dealing with health? I don't know. It bewilders me. It bewilders me, right? Let's get back. Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able, I like this one, to hide himself. Right. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Right. You stole everything from us, and you ain't, and nobody stole from you. You stole it from the whole world. Think about it. When the Queen of England had died, everybody started talking ill of her. Not good, ill of her. Usually what they do when you die, that's how good of you. Why? Because they know that the jewel she had, the diamonds and all that was stolen from African countries and stuff like that, from all over the world. All right, the pin that she had on her crown, all of that. Y'all own people. Y'all don't just own company. Y'all own people, man. That's what you've done. Verse 11. Leave thy fatherless children. I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup, have surely drunken. And so we have done. We've gone through the captivities. We had to drink from that cup, right? Have surely drunken. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hold that on deck really quick. Hold that. Think about it. We have drunken. Let me bring out this piece up really quick. Isaiah the 30th chapter. This reminded me of something. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but then I shall see thy teachers. So when they say we had to drink from that cup, we out the bread of affliction, and we had to drink the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, man. That goes right back to eating that roll, eating the whole roll. And some parts it'll be sweet to you, but then it'll get bitter. That's why it's sweeter on you an Israelite. You're gonna get all the perks, but guess what the Lord said? The Lord said, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right? Jumping back to Jeremiah 49:12. For thus saith the Lord, behold, those whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. And this is the day that we waited for, y'all. Why? Jeremiah 30:16. Right on time. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. That's what they fear, huh? Your pop. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and that go perfect. And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Woo! Hey, that remind me of that what is it? Deuteronomy chapter 30. Let me get that really quick. That's right. That's what they fear. It's called karma. Because you know what? Esau will tell you, Esau will say, don't forget Pearl Harbor. Don't forget the Holocaust, right? Don't forget 9/11. Don't forget America's independence. But damn, they tell us to get over slavery, right? Which built this freaking country. Oh, get over it. It was in the past, right? Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. And Yahawah, Yahawah, will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Woo! And thou shalt return and obey the voice of Yahweh and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. And that's what's happening right now. We turn back to keep the commandments of our power. Revelation 18:6. Reward her even the water reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her. Who was to her? The virgin daughter of Babylon, Esau. And double unto her according to her works in the cup which she hath filled to her double. Exactly, y'all. So they're gonna get it twice as bad, and I can't fathom. Because what we went through is already atrocious. But guess what the Lord said? The Lord said, I was angry with you for a little while. That was a little anger from the Lord, but he gonna get Esau them double. Remember, the Lord said he was sore displeased with the heathen. He was sore displeased, but he said he hate Esau. That's the difference. He hate Esau. And they say God don't hate, please. How would God do? Maybe not yours. Yeah. I'm gonna show your camera. Anyways, Baruch, going back to Baruch 4. I know I'm kind of over, y'all. It's a spirit, though. It's a spirit. Spirit like the wind, y'all. The water YAHAWASHI for making me a vessel of belief. Baruch chapter 4, verse 25. My children suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from God. See? That's why the Lord said pride has deceived thee. Because Esau really think he came out of the Caucasus Mountains, living in the caves, a literal caveman, and ruling the world was all because of him. Wow. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock of the enemies. The lost sheep of the house of Israel. We're gathering the flock. They don't like that. Verse 27. Be of good comfort with these words. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Yahweh, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. And that's what they don't want us to do. Remember who we were. That's why they heavy spirit. We have remember who we were. And that frightens them. Let me get it really quick. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up, listen here, in which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. How is your mind being stirred up? With the word. That his word is the water. Yeah? That ye be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandment of us the apostles of the Lord and Savior. Yeah? Remember, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts. So, remember, by way of remembrance, we stirring up our pure mind. And that's exactly what Kyrie Irving did. When he shared that link, they said, oh, hell no, wait a minute. And it started stirring up the minds of our people. Hey, the alarm clock started going off. That they would sleep. Let's go back. Baruch chapter 4, verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from God, Yahweh, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. So that means you got to go hard for the Lord, man. All right? That means you got to go hard for the Lord. Okay? Yapa. Matthew 11 and 29. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. And that's a beautiful precept to go with that. Seek him 10 times more. That's a power precept, water. Exactly. Seek him 10 times more. Verse 29. For he that brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation. Exactly. Let me close out soon. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Jerusalem, YAHAWASHI, which means city of peace, also known as the city of David. That's what Jerusalem stands for. The Lord gave us that name because we was a people before a place. So why do you think it says that when we rule again, the world shall flock to us and learn our ways? Because the world is going to be at peace under our guise. Okay? Verse 31, Baruch 4 and 31. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. See, you're gonna see. Can somebody draw Lamentations 4 and 20 or 4 and 21? Rejoice and be glad. The Lord said, miserable shall be thee. What it says? Are they that afflicted thee and rejoice at thy fall? Right? I'm going to the book of Obadiah now. I catch him adrift. Book of Obadiah. Where it's at? I know it's only like one book. How to pass it. It's a lot. I gotta get that, man. It's very important. Oh, there you go. This is Obadiah, the watermelon. Hold on, the brother you want me to bar drop one. Zechariah 8 and 22. Yea, many people in strong nations shall come and seek Yahawah of hosts of Jerusalem and to pray before Yahawah. That's the future prophecy, exactly, y'all. Exactly. So we're gonna be that city of peace again. Exactly, y'all. We're gonna bring peace to the world. What does it say? When the wicked, it said when the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice. We're the righteous because what makes us righteous? The law. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Exactly. Yeah. So, like I said, miserable are they who have afflicted me, and rejoice at our fall. This is Obadiah, the 10th verse. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, this is referring to Esau, y'all. Matter of fact, let me jump up. Verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Check this out. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners enter into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. All right, Esau, you was one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, and the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced, there you go, over the children of Judah in the day of the destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. All right, so let's go back to that Baruch 4. Yeah? So, this is what we got to say to you, Esau. Lamentations 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the cleft. Sorry, no, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also, there go that cup again. Double shot, straight, no chaser, mate. Only thing to be chasing after you is fire. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. And they're naked now, man, because the truth being exposed. Right, the truth being exposed, mate. I see that Zechariah. Let me read that Zechariah really quick. Zechariah 8 and 23. Thus saith Yahawah of hosts. In those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold of all languages of the nations heavy, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that Yahawah is with you. That is a beautiful precept. Beautiful. Guess what? That's not happening right now. So how can you be them people? Eh? How can you be them people that ain't happening right now? Your palm precept out the water. Your palm precept. So jumping back to Baruch chapter 4, verse 32. Miserable are the cities which, listen here. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. Who is that? The virgin daughter of Babylon. Let's go to Zechariah, or Zechariah, as they will say. The book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 4. Thus saith Yahawah my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be Yahawah, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. That's why the Lord said right here, also Baruch 4 and 33, for as they rejoice at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. But that's why we're coming to America. Desolation means barren, made desolate, uninhabitable. All right. Verse 34. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. Talking about this is going to be destroyed, America, y'all. All right. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh from thee unto thee from God. Lo, thy sons come whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of God. Paul looking like YAHAWASHI, man. That's your problem, man. The Lord said he rejoicing. He done gather us by his word. Lamentations 4:22 from Shakar. The punishment of that iniquity is accomplished. O daughter of Zion, beautiful. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. That's it right there. We're coming to the end of our captivity, and it's triumphant. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Ooh, exactly. Because he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Now I have a closeout precept, because this is not for us to fear. This is for them to fear. That's why they're telling, oh, you're really hurting us. We're hurting your feelings, boy. That's what we're hurting your feelings. This is Philippians chapter 1, verse 27. Start at 25. And having this confidence, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for your furtherance and joy of faith, that your rejoicing may be more abundant in YAHAWASHI for me by my coming to you again. Only let your conversation be as it becometh the gospel of Mashiach, that whether I come and see you or also be absent, I may hear of your affairs, that ye stand fast, not moved, in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel. Here comes the point. And in nothing terrified by your adversaries, which is to them an evident token of perdition, but to you of salvation and that of God. So us standing firm, still like Kyrie did, let's just say that, and have a holy conversation, it's an evident token of perdition, which is destruction to them, but it's salvation to us from our God. That's why they want to counsel Gay and Kyrie, because the truth is coming out. because it strikes fear into them. So why should we be terrified? Us saying that we are the God's chosen people and that our power coming back to redeem us from our enemies is striking fear into them, y'all. That's what's happening right now. Philippians 1 and 29. For unto you it is given in the behalf of Mashiach, not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake, having the same conflict which you saw in me, and now here to be in me. All right? So through no tribulation shall be entered to the kingdom of heaven. But remember, the angel of the Lord that campeth around about him that fear him. So we got nothing to fear. YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI is near. Let's just say that, you know. So with that being said, pray out edifying the spirit, stay in the spirit, no fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, proud not cease to stay humble, remain diligent, come to Allah, walk with the ball, shalom, work with the Yahawah, work with the Yahawashai, work with the Yahawah, work with the Yahawashai, work with the Yahawah, work with the Yahawashai. And shalom. Hey, shalom. So I out the water for you, brother, for adding something to the spiritual potluck. At the water for you, sister, for always being up to the spirit. You know, shalom, shalom, shalom to everybody else too that's in the comment board. All right. And how about Shemal Shavi with you and your family? And all we have is faith. All we have is faith and grace in these last days. So let wisdom, knowledge, and understanding prevail and allow us to guide us and allow it to guide us on the path of righteousness and to salvation as well. All right. Hey, COB, we all we got. Shalom, shalom, shalom. CMB.